Yeah, just extending to our earlier portfolio kind of a framework, what we have seen as a part of the portfolio mean and variance kind of a framework till now is the entire risk of any portfolio we are measuring with respect to the mean and the standard deviation itself. So using that concept itself, we were able to arrive at the concept of value at risk, because for anything what we are saying is this is the average return of the portfolio and this is the deviation from the average. Now on the top of that, if I am able to add the distribution also, so this is the mean, this is the standard deviation, and this is following a normal distribution or some kind of a distribution, and that is what was the root cause for the computation of VAR. And when we have seen the above model, when we have computed the efficient frontier, this is how the efficient this part of it was the efficient frontier for us. And this is assuming that the returns are following a kind of elliptical distribution. As the risk is increasing, up to certain extent, the returns will come down, right? Again, on the other side, the returns are going up, which is like if I'm trying to find a graph for this distribution, it will be more like a parabolic or some kind of an elliptical, right? Probably it could, if I even look at it, it may come more like a parabola like this. So as long as, or probably if you look at it slightly like this is what is your normal distribution. So some kind of a curviness is present, and based on that is what we are trying to find out the VAR or any of the other aspects associated. Now what we are saying is this efficiency frontier kind of a framework which we have used earlier for measuring our risk adjusted return. If this is the risk, this is the return kind of stuff. If my distribution is not normal or elliptical and it follows some other distribution, some XYZ distribution, wherein probably it may come something like this. If my returns are following some other kind of a distribution, we cannot use the efficient frontier framework to typically find out the value that is at risk for us, or what should be the return associated with this amount of a risk. Because in those cases, whatever the standard deviation that we are measuring, it's not something accurate. And so from that framework itself is what we have arrived at the concept of VAR, wherein you typically find out the distribution, the underlying distribution, and you can very well find out the amount that is at risk. See, when we defined the VAR, what did we say? Whatever is the type of the distribution, it could be a negatively skewed or a positively skewed or something. I am putting a cutoff point, wherein whatever is the area in this cutoff point, if I say 1%, we call this as 1% VAR. What is this particular cutoff point where the area to the left of it, the chance of getting the area to the left of that cutoff point is the percentage, is the VAR percent. 1% VAR, when I say, it is nothing but that particular cutoff point in any distribution, right? It need not be normal, it need not be elliptical, any kind of a distribution. If I am typically finding out what is that cutoff point, what is that cutoff point which can break the data into the left and the right, and the left is around that 1% kind of, or 5%. When I say 5% VAR, the right of it is 95%, the left of it is 1%, and so on. So here the advantageous part of it is the return distribution. You can very well model it. So if you are not able to identify the return distribution, then VAR is not a good measure. But if you are able to identify what is the underlying distribution, all we are saying that the 1% VAR or a 3% VAR or whatever is the percent, or 0.1% VAR, which we have used in case of operational risk and all in our earlier class. So what we are saying is, if this is the mean, and so mean plus z, z is assuming the based on the reliability factor, assuming a normal distribution. If it is some other distribution, the reliability factor will be something else. So based on the underlying distribution, and for how long you are looking at the VAR, daily VAR, monthly VAR, yearly VAR, what is the time period which we are looking, because the VAR will differ based on the time period of investment which we are typically looking at. And the VAR has a limitation in the sense it can compute this cutoff point, but it cannot compute this 1% will go to how long, right? Even if it has gone very narrow like this, even this area could be 1%. Or if it had gone only up to here like this, even this area could be 1%.